Merry Christmas! I'm Ashley, and we are going to celebrate Advent. Advent might not be a word that you know. So Advent is what we celebrate in the church. It is the 4 Sundays leading up to Christmas, and today is the very first Sunday of Advent. So we are excited to have you join us and celebrate the Advent season.
Christmas time.
So lift up your voice and sing out his praise. It's Christmas, born is the King, rejoice in that day. It's Christmas, make a joyful sound. It's Christmas, let his praise resound. It's Christmas.
Goodwill to all the earth and peace divine. All of the earth rejoice. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time.
So lift up your voice and sing out his praise. It's Christmas, born is the King, rejoice in that day. It's Christmas, make a joyful sound. It's Christmas, let his praise resound. It's Christmas, so lift up your voice and sing out his praise. It's Christmas, born is the King, rejoice in that day. It's Christmas, make a joyful sound. It's Christmas, let his praise resound. It's Christmas. So lift up your voice and sing out his praise. It's Christmas, born is the King, rejoice in that day. It's Christmas, make a joyful sound. It's Christmas, let his praise resound. It's Christmas, so lift up your voice and sing out his praise. It's Christmas, born is the King, rejoice in that day. It's Christmas, make a joyful sound. It's Christmas, let his praise resound. It's Christmas.
Long, long ago, about 700 years after Moses crossed the Red Sea, and about 700 years before Jesus died on the cross, there lived a man named Isaiah. He was a prophet, or someone whom God chooses to speak for him. For a long time, God had been sending prophets to tell others what God wanted them to hear. Often God had them warn his people. If they didn't have faith in God and wouldn't obey him, then he would stop protecting them. And there were many big, strong nations out there that wanted to come and destroy their cities and make them slaves. But even when the bad things God warned about finally did happen, God would have his prophet tell the people that they should still believe in God and keep hoping. God controls the future, and he promised them that one day they would come back home. Often when God told Isaiah to promise their return home, he would also have him promise an even bigger hope, one that was for the whole world. God said that much farther into the future, he would also send a Messiah to free the world's people from sin and death. Messiah means one who is chosen by God to free people. One important prophecy about the Messiah that God had Isaiah write was this: "The Lord himself will prove to you what he has promised. A young, unmarried woman, a virgin, shall become pregnant with a baby son, and people will call him Emmanuel, which means God is with us." We know now that God was promising not only that he was with his people in their hard times, but he was also promising Jesus' birth, which would happen 700 years later. Later, God had Isaiah describe what this Messiah would be like. Though Isaiah wrote this long before the Son of God became a baby on earth, he described a baby who would someday return as the greatest king of all. Isaiah wrote, "All of us are now living in the darkness that causes all bad things in the world, such as war and sickness and death. This kind of darkness is caused by our separation from God, who is the light. But God has promised that one day His light would come into the darkness. The Messiah will chase it away, and then there will be celebrating like a great victory party all over the world. For unto all of us a child will be born. To us a son will be given, and that child will be greater than all kings forever. His name will be called Wonderful Counselor. This child is the mighty God. He is the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." But later in his writing, this is also how God had Isaiah describe the Messiah. Before he would rule over the world, he would suffer terribly. This is hard to believe, but the Messiah will grow up with people and not seem much like a king. In fact, many will hate him, and he will know what it is like to suffer great sadness, just as we all do. Many will even think it must be God who is hurting him, but it's actually because of us that he will be pierced. It's because of our crushing others that he will be crushed, so that we could have peace. He will be punished. We all are like sheep that have left the shepherd. We've separated from God and gone our own way. But all the suffering that being lost sheep causes, God will cause to happen to him. He will be the lamb in our place. Without opening his mouth to complain, he will be punished and put to death like a criminal, though he never killed or lied. The Messiah must suffer and die because of our sin of being separated from God. But then, God will cause the Messiah to live long. Then the Messiah will save many from darkness and death. God gave Isaiah these messages not only for people at that time, but also for us today. He promises to deliver us from the sin that is part of our world now. But he also promises that one day, Jesus the light will return to chase away all sin and darkness from the world. Through Isaiah, God promises us that no matter how dark it may get, Jesus' light will shine and win.
Hey friends, I bet you're wondering about all these candles and what we're going to do with them. Well, these are very special candles. These are candles of the Advent. And we are in the Advent season and are going to be celebrating it for the next 4 weeks. So each week we will light a different candle that talks about the different aspects to the Christmas story. And our first one, we're going to start off with hope, because a hope candle started a long time ago, much longer than when Jesus was born. In fact, it started really from the time that Adam and Eve sinned in the garden, because God always had a plan for us, a redemptive plan. So I'm going to read to you a little bit about the candle of hope. It said, the Bible tells us it's taken centuries for God's people to be ready, but the time had almost come for the best part of God's plan. God himself was going to come, not to punish his people, but to rescue them. God was getting ready to wipe away every tear from every eye, and the true party was just to begin. Everything was ready. The moment God had been waiting for was here at last. The people of Israel had been waiting for 400 years since they had last heard God talk, and they had been waiting for God to speak again. And he was coming during the Christmas time. He was coming to help his people, just as he had promised from the beginning. But how would he come? And what would he be like? And what would he do? Mountains would have bowed down, seas would have roared, trees would have clapped their hands, but the earth held its breath. As silent as snow falling, he came, and when no one was looking, in the darkness he came. Because people were expecting God to come back in just a mighty way, but instead, he came back on a Christmas morning as Jesus, and fulfilling the hope that he had promised us so long ago.
For the next 4 weeks of Advent, we will be learning Isaiah 9:6 as our Bible verse. Read along with me. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah 9:6. So when we look at this Bible verse, it tells us 4 things about baby Jesus. He's going to be, first and foremost, a wonderful counselor. So I started thinking, what does it mean to be a wonderful counselor? Well, the word wonderful that is used in the Bible is not the same word that we use to describe how something tastes or how something feels to us. Oh, that's so wonderful. No, what it means is it to be filled with awe. It's incomprehensible. It's like mind-blowing. So that's what the word wonderful means in this scripture verse. And the word counselor, what's a counselor? Well, a counselor is someone that helps you navigate life. Maybe you have questions. Maybe you're worried about something. Maybe you have a choice to make and you don't know which way to go. Well, you can come to Jesus, who is so amazing and knows so much more than anyone else on the entire planet, and he will guide you and tell you the right way to go. He'll help you make lifelong decisions. So, what a wonderful gift that we were given, because unto us a child was born, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor.
Hey everyone, we're so excited. We have a very special craft for Craft Corner. And this is going to be a craft that we're going to be doing for the next 4 weeks.
Yes.
So, Lynette, why don't you explain how we get it started?
Well, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create the base for our craft. So what we've done is that we went to Michael's or Hobby Lobby or your favorite crafting store, and you can buy these pretty inexpensive canvases. This one is 16 by 24 inches, and that's about the right size because we've created all of these elements to basically fit within these boundaries. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get some blue felt. Now, for those of you who have already registered to pick up a craft kit, all of this will be included in your craft kit. If you have missed the opportunity because it's now 5 years down the road and you're watching this for the first time, you can just get some blue felt, dark blue felt at the craft store. And what we're going to do is we're basically going to wrap this canvas. So get yourself a handy dandy heavy duty stapler. Don't try this with the ones that you use at home for your paper because it won't work. Because this is pretty hefty.
You're gonna go into the wood.
Yes.
Exactly.
So you're basically going to lay your felt down, put your canvas on top, and you're going to pull the edges. What I do is I start with the 4 that are in the middle. 1, 2, count with me, children. 3, and 4.
And 4, there it is.
And then it'll take a little bit of time, but you're going to basically continue going around and stapling. You
It will
can
look like something like this.
exactly. So when you're all done, it's going to look like that, and now you've got a lovely base for your nativity scene.
Yes.
And Ashley's going to take you through the next step.
That's right.
All right, we are gonna make a stable. So we're gonna get, these are like jumbo size craft
Jumbo
sticks.
jumbo.
Jumbo. Double jumbo.
Double jumbo.
Well, then what are these?
Those are jumbo.
These are jumbo. Okay. I
Just
would have
saying.
called them large, but
Exactly.
Large and
So,
extra large.
yes. So you're gonna get 2 of each, and you're going to glue. I use little. This is gonna be a permanent part to your. We're gonna glue it right onto the felt. So the felt's kind of like a night sky background. So we'll go ahead. And the thing is, you don't want to make your stable too wide because we have characters that we're going to add to it each week, and there needs to be space for them.
That's right.
So we gotta get all those characters on. So get a good amount of glue, kind of spread it out nice and even, and then you got your nice big roof here. Glue goes pretty quick, so
Yes, you need lots of
lob it on there. Okay. And then Marsha, do you want to start and show them what you're
Yeah.
gonna do next to it?
So now we have a star, and all of these can be found on our website.
Right.
You can look under our resources, and you will find patterns for all of these things. So we're going to take the star, and because the star is going to be something we're going to move, we're going to go ahead and attach Velcro to the back of it.
And this is just the sticky.
This is just
the sticky Velcro.
The sticky back. Yeah.
This is the one that has the little hooks on it.
That's right. We're going to do the hook side, and then because we're going to put on top of our stable, we're going to use the other one, whatever this fuzzy size to put on, because then our star will stick right to our stable. But we can take it off later if we decide, and maybe we want to move it up in the sky and put other things on the top of the stable. So we're going to put our star right there in the stable. Then we have some fun little stars that we are just going to go ahead and we are going to glue into the night sky.
They're little star buttons.
They're these little star buttons we found.
Just go ahead and use some.
And the nice thing with this tacky glue is that even if you accidentally get some on your backboard or get a little messy with it, it's okay because it's going to dry
Perfectly clear.
perfectly clear and it's not going to be a problem.
No,
So we
exactly.
prefer the tacky glue
Yes,
to other forms of glue. It just makes it really nice and easy.
Yeah, because we want this to last, not just this year, but years to come.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and put a night sky. Make it nice and starry.
And this week we've been talking about hope, right? And so this was kind of setting the stage for what would unfold.
Right.
And so that's exactly what we're doing too. Is we're
Exactly.
setting the stage.
For what's going to happen. Let's go ahead and put one more on that side.
And each week we're going to create some new pieces that are going to add to your nativity. So we will have, look how beautiful that
There it
looks.
is. That's our first week.
So this is week number 1.
Yeah. Advent week 1.
Yep. Come back next week and we're going to be adding some more elements to our
That's right.
nativity.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And don't forget to send us pictures. We would love to see how yours turned out.
Absolutely. See you next week.
Bye.